Waka waka waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review. And we are back on track with Eaglemoss, getting right back into our ships of Wolf 359. And today we're going to be taking a look at the official Starships Collection Springfield class. Real quick, and as previously stated, we are going through the ships seen in the debris field of Wolf 359 in the episode Best of Both Worlds Part 2. Dino Cat right next to me by my side, ever loyal as always. And so this is yet again another ship, and just kind of a preface, I kind of have mixed feelings about this ship. First off, there's nothing wrong with the model. Great model. Well, again, it's one of the best models, especially considering how little we see the ship in the show. I'm going to get into that a little later. But I just kind of want to preface this that my feelings about this ship are mixed, and we're going to talk about those. So without any further ado, I'm going to get right into the magazine. Moving the Springfield class out of the way, let's get a look at the magazine. And yeah, this is definitely one of the better sides of the ship. And then we have a nice 3D model of the Springfield class. The one we see in the battlefield is, of course, the U.S.S. Chekov. I'm not sure if it's named after our famous starship pilot, Pavel Chekov, or navigator, I should say, weapons officer, Pavel Chekov. Excuse me, he's a weapons officer, I do believe. Springfield class, it's launched in the 24th century, 325 meters, and a max speed of warp 9.2. That's at X class territory, baby. All right, Springfield class, table of contents, Springfield class, little known ships of Star Trek, designing the future, and on screen, of course, we have our insert into the stand instructions. Then we have a nice orthographic front view, and yeah, you're already starting to see the part that I'm kind of about. We're gonna get into that. It is a frigate. It is the U.S.S. Chekov NCC 57302, launched in the 24th century at a length of 325 meters with a crew of 430, which is about, yeah, that's about in the ballpark. Warp 9.2, phaser emitters, and photon torpedoes, always the standard of the Federation. And then, of course, we have some nice side shots and orthographic shots. And, of course, Dino Cat looking at the magazine as well. You just can't see him because he's off screen. And then, of course, we have the Springfield class, a bottom shot of the Springfield class, NCC 57302. The Springfield class was a 24th century design of Starfleet vessel. It was capable of fulfilling a wide range of duties. And then, of course, we have the Wolf 359 disaster. I'm not sure if, I'm sure it's one of those ships out there. And of course, like all these magazines, we got our orthographic views of the Chekov class. And again, you know how I feel about these. So cool to have it for such an obscure ship. And then, of course, we have another 3D image of the Springfield class. I believe it was only ever seen in Best of Both Worlds Part 2, if you can spot it, of course. And, of course, then we have some images from, that is, well, this is Deep Space Nine right here. And, of course, we have a few other ships. And, of course, we have the U.S.S. Jaeger, the Maquis ship. Combined with an Intrepid class, then of course we have a few other lesser known ships. So there we go. I believe this was one of the last models Eaglemoss had made. And of course we have some a tricorder, a hypo spray, and a phaser. Rick Sternbach, this Star Trek illustrator, I believe he may have had a hand in all this. And then of course we have some other drawings here. And yeah, look at that. All these cool drawings and concept artworks, and some of the stuff we know was seen later on in some of the series. And yeah, so a lot of nice cool. There's a Deep Space Nine shot, I do believe. And then, of course, a final Best of Both Worlds shot. So there we go right there. And yeah, and then close it up. And then we have a nice orthographic top view of the Springfield class. And hey, yet another model that I didn't have to glue the stand in, so you'd already know how this works. You put the little peg in the stand just like that, and then you'll notice that this ship has, you just put it right around the nacelle. So much for sturdy. You put it right around the nacelle pylons, and there you go. And the ship sits just like that. It kind of elevated pose, and you can kind of see that going on, and that looks pretty cool. So let's take a good look at the Springfield class, the U.S.S. Chekov. And so let me get this out of the way. So first off, I love the ship. I mean, even though they kind of put a car luggage rack on top of it, but nevertheless, I mean, this is kind of a sensor pod. I mean, what do you want? They had to kind of make up some new funky Federation designs. I mostly love the ship though from the top view. It's just when you get to the side, I feel like they could have cut it off right here. And I get what they were going for. You know, you have to make all the Federation ships look different, but I really feel like you could have gone with a similar NX-01 design, put a deflector on here, or maybe even just added this to the bottom. I'm really not a fan of the berth underswung design, but you know, it's quirky, it's cool, and at the end of the day, you know what? We have the Cerados that kind of use this similar layout, so you know, it's kind of it's kit bashing. You know, again, it's a minor nitpick, but again, it's kit bashing. I really do feel though the ship looks great without the underswung deflector pod. So again, but either way, let's get into it. So we'll start at the nacelles right now. NCC 5732. I love how they have the little details for that. You got the nice Federation. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. And there it is. Starship U.S.S. Chekov, United Federation of Planets. Yes, it's upside down. I'm sorry. And I love how that is. I love how they fill that in on these small models that are just the ship. You can barely even see the ship. You got the nice gold or like bronzish for the warp quills, and of course a nice transparent plastic for the Bassard collectors. Then you got like the nice little transparent plastic. Actually, I'm not sure. It's no, it's not transparent. It's just like this blue painted piece that's sandwiched in here. And I'm sure these are probably highlighters as well, the highlighter nacelles. But there you go. And then of course you got the you know, similar Galaxy class rear end here. No, like a lot of phaser strip detail. Got the phaser strip here, back here, back here. I mean, this ship was quite loaded out, and then you got a nice vent detail in the back of the sensor pod, probably to cool all those supercomputers in there in the dark, cold vacuum space. Then you got the shutdown. Actually, I kind of like how, so I'm assuming, you know, black impulse engines means that they're offline, as in the ship is a derelict. So I kind of like how these were left black. I'm not sure if that was intentional based off the models that they had in the studio, and that's what Eaglemoss went with, or, you know, or what, but I kind of dig that. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, moving to the underpod, which I don't care for too much. And then you got the Federation. I mean, a lot, very symmetrical. So again, they did a really good job. And of course, you got Starship U.S.S. Chekov, Starship U.S.S. Chekov, the Federation symbol, very nicely Aztec, very lightly, I might add, on the deflector pod. So that's good. Deflector done in a kind of, it's kind of a lighter bronze, and then a nice deep blue, and not deep blue, but a light blue, a deep light blue. So there you go. And again, you know, I love how they kind of vary the way they do the windows. So on this ship, the windows are done in a nice light blue. It's kind of like an eggshell blue. It looks really, really good. And again, you know, there's not really any indents, so they didn't really misprint anything. It looks really good. NCC 57302 outlined in red, looks good. And similar to the Kyushu, the escape pods mostly along the outer edge of the saucer. Got a few right in here. No escape pod. I mean, the saucer is really the only place with the escape pods. Nothing on what would be the stuff. Oh, no, you got, but you're kind of screwed. You're kind of screwed because your escape pod's gonna launch. You're gonna knock into the nacelle, into the pylon. So you're kind of screwed if you leave there. Is there ones on the bottom? I can't see. Yes, there's ones on the bottom. You're gonna crash into the freaking launching giger. Whatever. It almost feels like this was an afterthought. Whatever. So you got the sensor pod down here. Let's go to the top so we can get a quick look at the bridge. And there's our black window detailing for the bridge. And again, nice light. I love how they have the nice light blue. No Aztecing. Doesn't look like it. No, it doesn't look like there's any Aztecing. It's just that nice, kind of a dull grayish beige color, whatever it is. But you have the nice baby blue windows, and of course the escape pods all on U.S.S. Chekov right there. Again, that looks really good. And then, of course, you've got more of the black and white windows right on here. And, yeah, these do look like they were printed off. You can see the indents right here. And there they are. And I wonder, because you have, yeah, so never mind. So these may have been printed off as well. So anyway, sorry about that. Dino Cat knocked into a few things. So yeah, so I do apologize. A few window misprints, but it is mostly negligible. But yeah, so there we have it for the U.S.S. Chekov. And for a quick comparison, you know, we're just going to bring in the Galaxy class because, yeah, you know what? I mean, just like the Kyushu, this looks like dead on. You know, it's about 300, it's about half the, so should be roughly half the length of the U.S.S. Enterprise. And, yeah, the Enterprise being almost 700. This is a little bit over, so maybe just a little bit off scale, but not too much. So, yeah, no, really, really good. And this is the XL Enterprise, by the way, not as if you didn't already know. And then if we look at the bottom, I mean, this scale kind of matches up too. I mean, this is how tall I'd expect the ship to be. So, yeah, no, it looks really, really good. I really think they did a good job. Let's get a look at the front real quick here so we could have the ship's top over. And once again, you can see a pretty good job with the nacelle alignment on the Springfield class. And yeah, that looks really, really good. So nice job, Eaglemoss. And not I know scale usually isn't what they go for, but in this case, they just happen to inadvertently hit it. And lastly but not leastly, we can see how our Wolf 359 fleet is shaping up. And there we go. We got the 5 down. We got 2 more to go. And I'll bring in the Melbourne on the last review for this so you can kind of get an idea of the whole fleet. But there we go. Our valiant fleet of Federation ships heading off, getting ready to fight the Borg Cube at Wolf 359, having no idea what they're about to engage in. So there you go. All right, and let's summarize. There it is for the Eaglemoss Official Starships Collection Springfield class U.S.S. Chekov. And, yeah, so, I mean, overall, again, as far as the ship goes, you know, honestly, I really think if they would have just left the underswung deflector pod off, I think this would be just a really great design. But, you know, again, it's a kit bash, and what do you want? I'm not going to be too critical of it. As a model goes, this is really excellent. Again, and especially for a ship that we just do not see very often. In fact, I'm pretty sure we only saw it at the Wolf 359. It was just this little pinch, and Eaglemoss just gave us a really great, really detailed model. Window misalignments aside, and I generally don't care about those. I can't notice them from 5 feet away, so I don't care. But again, this is just a generally really good model. Now, this was produced in relatively good capacity, so I would not overpay for this model. But again, if you can find it for a decent price and you are a fan of the obscure ships like I am, then by all means, grab it if you can. Also, you can check out realmerch.com. I'll put a link in the description down below. Also, feel free to check out some of my other Eaglemoss videos as well as the rest of my Wolf 359 ships. I'll put a link to that playlist in the description down below. They're all just in one place. You can check those out. And if you like this review, continue to hit that like button because that really helps me out and it makes me oh so happy, and I give you a virtual hug or a virtual handshake if you're not a hugging kind of person. And that being said, also consider subscribing to my channel. I'm putting out these reviews. I'll do 2 to 3 a week. This is kind of a lighter week, so we might just have 1, but that's okay. Either way, I do these reviews weekly, so subscribe to the channel. You do not want to miss them. And we have just 2 ships left in our Wolf 359 reviews, so don't be sure to not miss out on those. And that being said, I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper.